How expensive is too expensive a guitar for you not to play it anymore? That was my YouTube face. Hey, it's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
Here at Casino Guitars, coming at you hard and fast. So we've been talking a lot about expensive guitars.
Yes.
Because Jonathan's had the lust for buying them.
That's what we do.
Well, we lust.
We lust.
We're like online lusters.
Buy, but yeah.
And you know, when we saw the articles about, you know, everybody, all the really expensive ones, like the original Greenie, that's, you know, outrageously expensive. The headstock's broken. It's been screwed back on. Then Kirk broke it again. And it's like, oh my God,
I don't think I realized that he just casually broke it again. Leaning a stack of books, but whatever.
Well, let me just ask the question one more time. Should you play your expensive guitars?
Yes.
Okay, that's the short answer of the video. It's pretty much
done. See you guys later. I'm going home.
Now we're just going to extrapolate and expand upon this idea for a bit more. And how expensive is too expensive? And there's certain ones maybe you shouldn't. We'll get to that in a minute. So yes, you think yes.
Well, I mean, you know, we all have like custom shops and things that maybe I say maybe, probably wouldn't have if we didn't work in guitar shops,
100%.
you know, as musicians. And I drag that's all I have, first of all. Because I got rid of all my
because you have like the custom shop
guitars.
Gibson as well now.
Well, it's not really a custom shop, but it's an expensive one. It's kind of a rare-ish one.
It's been customized too.
It's been customized, and so, you know, but I've played them. There's nowhere that I'm like, nah, I won't take this guitar. And I don't like break out my DGT SE for gigging like I play my.
You play
my nice
proper
guitars.
GGT Gold Top. You play the real deal.
Sad. Sadly, I don't have one.
No.
But yeah, you know, so I say you play your, that's what they're for, right?
Well,
like, otherwise, why have them?
I have vintage guitars in my little rack. You know, I have a rack of like 5 guitars in my apartment that I have they rotate sometimes, but you know, I think I have a custom shop Strat and a custom shop Tele.
Yep.
And then I have an Echo Park. I have a Castadosa.
Yep.
And then I have a vintage Gibson on that rack right now. Sometimes different vintage Gibsons sort of circulate, but mine's like a 1961 ES355 stereo with PAF pickups. It's probably an expensive guitar. I don't even think about it, but I want it out so I can play it.
Because the point of it is that you love to play it.
I like to play it.
It's fun.
Now the art and love of coveting the guitars, I respect that too, and I also have that. I love knowing that the guitar is in the case, secured besides the bed, or in the vault. I like that feeling.
Well, that's sort of like you're a collector, right? But like if you are a guitar player,
I guess I'm kind of both.
Well, yeah, I mean you can be both, but if you are a player, right? Like I don't know, is there any sort of, to get all philosophical, is there like a higher purpose for a guitar other than to make music, right?
I mean, maybe it's like its existence alone. Like if you go back to the original core of like the first Fender Stratocasters off the line, were subjectively and objectively not good. You know, like the trem systems didn't work. They were sort of stripping and breaking, not doing the best thing, and not staying in tune, not intonating right.
So you're saying like those, maybe they're just a part of history.
Maybe a part of history, like the original Les Pauls too, with the tail pieces that you had to wrap over and were almost unplayable. But God, they sound great.
But if you've got an expensive guitar and it's good, it seems sad not to play it.
I agree. I do think you should play them. Like we have a 65 Jaguar to your left hanging up that we can grab off the wall and just play. And
we're not talking about just playing. Like we're kind of talking about like taking them places. Like and I feel like I could be wrong, but my impression is that this is an even bigger thing for acoustic players than for electric players. Because I hear guys all the time who have like a really nice old Martin, or like, you know what I mean, and no electronics in it or whatever, and they don't, like, it only stays at home and gets played.
I think that's sort of a shame. I think it's meant that instrument should go out. I get it. You spend a lot of money on it. It's an expensive thing. It's probably worth more than both of our cars.
Well, it's funny, right? Because like maybe you're playing it in the studio, but a lot of people don't. I mean, realistically, the reality is a lot of people don't. Most people aren't going to sessions, right? Like, we're not going to like record sessions. So, you know, it's play something out live. But maybe you don't play live either, and that's fine. Like, it's fine to have an expensive guitar if you just play at home for your own joy. Yeah,
that's primarily what my guitars are for at this point in my life.
Right.
I just enjoy playing them the rare 5 minutes a week I get. Now, here's the other question: are there guitars that are not meant to be played? And this is a tricky one because like I'm toying with the idea of maybe yes.
So give me an example. Give me one that's not meant to be played.
Like Jimi Hendrix Woodstock guitar, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's in the museum, and it's so culturally, that's a hard word to say for me, culturally iconic. And it was played in that show, it's videoed. It's got, I even remember talking to the old head of Custom Shop Mike. There's been two mics, you can guess which mic I'm talking about. But when they popped off the neck and then the green stuff was in there, and he's like, that was Jimmy's DNA. It's like there's like Jimmy's DNA like in that guitar, and like I'm worried like through the playing and maintenance and mechanics of it, are you degrading that historical significant piece if we ever want to clone Jimmy and make him come back? Don't make fun of me, it's in my fantasy.
I mean, it's probably possible.
I think there's a new sci-fi movie called Foe. I believe that's supposed to be really good about a cloning thing. It's like a good cloning one. Where guys go up to space for a bit to work on something, and so the company that makes a clone of this guy's husband to stay with his wife while he's gone. Anyway, interesting idea.
Why don't you just send the clone?
I guess the clone can't do all this like high-tech stuff. That's a good question. Problem solved. What if that's what they did, the whole trick of the movie? That's what it is.
Did you ever watch Invincible? There's a comic like graphic novel thing that's Invincible, and it's now an animated series. It is fantastic and wonderfully violent. But there are these two characters that they're like the experts on cloning. And there's always two of them, and they always argue they don't know which one is the clone.
Oh, that's funny.
And it plays out in a really hilarious way.
Okay.
Like over 2 seasons, but fantastic.
Funny.
They never know who the clone is. They're both convinced that they're the original.
Well, so speaking of that, since we're obviously clones from the same birth parents as well, what do you think of that idea of a guitar not being played?
Well, so when you described it the way you just described it, like I don't know that there's anything inherently wonderful about that Strat other than it belonged to Jimi Hendrix, right?
Well, and the historical significance of it.
That's what I'm talking about. Like so I don't know that we're missing out on like one of the most amazing guitars ever built on that guitar. So like maybe it's like when they retire a number in sports. Maybe that's okay.
So they retire like the 1969 Olympic white Strat.
No one can play an Olympic
That's it.
Strat.
You're sorry,
but I mean
the one you can't play.
that particular one, it's like okay, we're hanging this one up.
Or like the SRV
It's
number
done.
one.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's just, and that guitar has been beat to hell. It's not a great guitar by.
Like, why do I feel like, I don't know why I have this thought, but in my brain, like, Strats are just different than like bursts, like 59 Les Pauls.
Well, just because the finite number of the burst, I suppose. But I don't. But the most iconic guitars, when you think about them, really are the Strats.
Yeah, kind of.
Like the ones like the David Gilmour Blackie, or one Eric Clapton's Blackie. My apologies. I can't believe you said that. I know. I got it.
Oh my God! It just seems like he could have been playing any Strat. Where it seems less that way when you talk about like whoever's Les Paul.
I don't know. I feel like there's this weird I feel like this is a whole other video. Maybe like the Strat is like the player is so intrinsically bonded with it. It's strange. Like certain ones, I mean, that was the guitar. Like some guitar players just like pass the guitar around like they did women back then. But I
mean, you think about Clapton. I mean, obviously Clapton was known for Blackie, but then like for most of his career, it's just like okay, whatever's around.
And I really love like his John Mayer and the Blues Breakers sound, but then you listen to like Bell Bottom Blues and
you're like, oh my God, that's amazing.
That's the peak of the Strat tone of that period to me.
God, that's
I get the shivers every time I think about it. Just
that's pretty amazing.
Gummy position 2 and 4 with a full cranked up amp.
Yeah,
heaven.
It's good.
So so it's tricky though. It's trickier than. But at the end of the day, should you play your expensive guitar that you bought?
Play your guitar. Yes.
And I think it's fine. I don't care if you earn that guitar through like years of time on the road, or if you earned it through like fantastic inventions you created, or if you invented the Swiffer, that'd be great. Because I worked for you at a short time if you invented the Swiffer. That's a small sub-story of Baxter's life. I worked for Swiffer Corp.
It's like every household has a Swiffer, but they don't use it.
That's our only mopping device we have.
It's like we have all these strange mopping devices that we don't use.
No, but like, no matter how you earned it, like play it, enjoy it. Like, and if your joy is like keeping it safe and pristine, do that too. Like that's awesome. Like it's fun, but play it.
Happy.
Play the guitar as much as you possibly can because it is built to be a guitar.
You deserve it.
You deserve a break today. Unless you want make breakfast after 10:30, which I think they serve breakfast all day now at McDonald's, or is that still at 10:30? Some places.
Select menu items.
I think they do, which I think is still ridiculous. If you can't get breakfast before 10:30, don't make the people at McDonald's make you breakfast again.
No, go to Biscuitville.
Yeah, or Bojangles.
Because Biscuitville is superior in almost every way.
For breakfast?
For breakfast.
I mean, I
still
love
2 o'clock.
McDonald's, like the breakfast, like pancake meal.
My children do too.
They are horrible pancakes too, and the syrup is horrible.
But my children, they love
But
them.
as a kid, you loved it for some reason.
And they love the sausage and the pancake.
I do love the hash browns at McDonald's are the best. Those are my favorite.
They're fine.
I think they're the cylinder things.
They're fine.
Flat cylinders. That's not a thing.
I'm telling you, Biscuitville. You get Biscuitville?
I don't like Biscuitville that much. I just feel like it's so expensive.
It's really not that expensive.
I don't know. It's like $4 for a biscuit. That's a lot of money to me. $5 for a biscuit.
Go to Biscuitville.
I'm a Bojangles
That's only the
guy.
fancy ones.
Bojangles.
I'm pro Bojangles as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Bojangles is like you have one thing to order: the Cajun flake biscuit combo. That's it.
That's about it.
The
Yeah.
Biscuitville has a plethora, like from like fried bologna,
Sure.
the
Pretty much
sausage,
anything you want.
and all such cool. All that stuff beats Bojangles.
There's
But
that,
Bojangles
yeah.
biscuits itself is better, I think, than Biscuitville's.
Okay. The actual biscuit.
The biscuit
The
itself.
biscuit material.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I'm sticking by that.
Bojangles has really good biscuits.
God bless America.
Yeah, maybe have Bojangles for lunch.
That's a good thought.
It's been a long
Hey,
time.
thanks for letting us talk about this for Vic. So we are curious what your thoughts are too, and we'd love to hear it. Click like, subscribe,
And the bell.
ding dong. Peace be with you, children.